forgot to turn off the bloody thing. All right, hello and welcome everybody. I'm not your usual host, but my name is Unedited Bear, and I am joined here by a cast of lovely people. How about we introduce ourselves, starting with the rabbit to my left.
Hi, I'm Oblivious. I am our dev administrator. I help guide our dev team and provide a lot of support there. And I help with communications between our admin team and our dev team.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, I'm Chair. Oh, well, fix some stuff in a second. I help facilitate the character team, doing all like the systems development, dealing with all of the stuff with the rework going into season 4. I'm also our audio developer and one of our map developers.
And me, hello everybody, it's me HB. I'm the guy who is in charge of both the current Patreon that we're running, but also the current head of media team. Also here to assist when it comes to anything, when it comes to future updates for both the Patreon as well as any projects that we're trying to do that are not directly RP related, but still involve a little bit of media work.
And we have one disembodied voice, so let's let them introduce themselves now.
Hello. This is Bucky. I do administration here at ND as well as supporting the community team and the nonprofit side of the project.
Amazing.
Alive.
Yeah. So we have been hard at work for season 4, obviously. It's been a little bit since we last talked to you guys, but lately we've been doing a lot of work on the back-end side of things, making some improvements to performance across the board. Our dev team has done an amazing job gaining a lot of ground with performance on existing maps, as well as our new map, Union Heights, which is also coming along great. Where it's looking fantastic. I did a good walkthrough yesterday, and it's coming along really well. We're really happy with it. But in the meantime, the character team has been working on the system rework. Actually finishing up the system rework and beginning the great audit to get everyone's character sheets migrated over to the new system, and getting it in a nice, clean, readable format for our cast.
And with that said, we do have some juicy information for everybody here listening. If we want to pan over, want some news on season 4, right? That's why everybody's here.
Certainly why I'm here.
Yeah. So it's coming soon-ish. And, after careful consideration, we decided that we're going to have to delay the start of season 4. Fortunately, things take longer than we expect, and this decision was not made lightly. It's driven by our commitment to releasing a more polished and complete set of maps and systems that we can all be proud of. So everybody on the team is hard at work, refining, testing, and ensuring every detail meets the higher standard of quality we hope to set in Season 4. By taking this extra time, we're confident that the upcoming season will be the best season yet, a season packed with new places to explore, and better performance and stability that will make it well worth the wait. We want to extend our thank you for your patience, your understanding, and your continued support through this process. And we will be keeping you updated with more information and sneak peeks on the Patreon. So stay tuned, and happy holidays from admin. Speaking of holidays,
Definitely speaking about holidays, there is definitely one thing that people can be excited for, both players, SCPs, and people watching from when it comes to other streamer perspectives, is the aspect we understand the delay is heartbreaking, but we're still going to try our best to bring a roleplay opportunity for you guys forward during the December times. We're essentially trying to do a non-canon dry run of our new systems, the audio, the lighting of our newest maps, and trying our best to figure out the entire situation when it comes to bug testing and fixing of smaller issues. So be excited for that. ND is not going to just fade into the next year potentially without any sort of at least something to show off. So be excited for that.
We don't have a date set for it just yet, but it will be sometime in December, and we'll be sure to keep everyone up to date on the Discord when on what date that'll be.
Moving through, that's not the only thing that we have planned for you guys. We do have New Year's coming up. So VRC does its New Year's party every year. So we'll have a booth there, and likely going to be having a community event where we can hop into that booth and chat about the community, reconnect over the long year where we haven't seen each other. So we will have some sneak peeks of things coming in season 4 if you're planning on attending. So be sure to stop by. Here's a little work in progress photo.
See, that's what we all come here for, folks. We just want to see what they're working
I,
on.
I like the mannequin up on the wall, just hanging there with the Geb Cube head. It's great. There may also be a little photo of Union Heights in there. What's that?
Yeah, what's in the back there?
Anyways,
a new favorite
Ominous.
job.
Yeah. So, one aspect of the new rework coming with season 4. Last time we talked about we broke down the tag system, how it's going to work with replacing, racial traits and or racial edges and flaws. So this time around, we wanted to, with the system rework, we wanted to really give the skills some areas to shine. So we completely rebuilt the skill trees the skill system from the ground up, and so it's now like full-on skill trees. In past seasons, skill trees have existed, but the goal with this year or this upcoming season's rework, skill trees and everything, we want to allow each point that's put into a skill be a meaningful level up that you can use in every single session. One of our core values when designing these skill trees and whatnot is that additional points should warrant horizontal growth, meaning that your area of expertise in a certain category of things gets wider, gaining access to more things, more things that you can do with that ability, not just, now I can open this door that I couldn't open before. Now it's like you'll actually be able to use it every session for different things. So meanwhile, while that's happening, you're still getting better at your parent skill, taking the higher number that you have in that or highest number that you have in that skill category to affect what your parent skill level is. Just to give a quick rundown of kind of what I mean by that, if I have, let's for example say 1 point in alchemy, which is one of the Arcana skills, we'll show you in just a moment. 1 point in runesmithing, I have Arcana 1. Meanwhile, if I have 2 points in alchemy and 1 point in runesmithing, then I have Arcana 2. Now, a few weeks ago, we shared the Arcana skill tree on our Patreon, and now we are ready to show it to the public. So, as you can see here, Arcana, it's a skill that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with. It's your knowledge on magical items and implementation. It's how our characters interact with the world of magic. Each point of Arcana means our characters will have better chances at succeeding at Arcana-related roles, while each one of the skills grows your knowledge of the area that you would like your knowledge to grow in. So, for Alchemist, each level you get an additional you get more access to crafting different types of potions between combat, support, and mobility. Same thing with Enchanting in terms of the enchantment groups, except you are enchanting, your your body basically. It's kind of our magic cybernetics in a way. Runesmiths are same thing. Each level grants an additional offensive utility, offensive or defensive group of runes. While Wandcrafter, you gain knowledge of wand crafting in your chosen affinities, additional affinities with higher levels, and then staffs at our highest level, which don't have a lot of info to share right now with you guys about staffs, but we should hopefully sometime soon.
Now, overall, with the understanding of everything being completed, we're going to the Q&A section. So if we have any questions, I'm not sure who will be taking charge on that. Bear, maybe you, I would assume. If there are any questions, throw it at us, and we can try to provide answers wherever we can.
Yeah, I most certainly can, if someone wouldn't mind feeding me the questions in the Discord. So, while we're waiting for questions, folks, let's see a real unfiltered look at our admin team here, our developers and everything. How excited are you guys for this new season?
I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
how
I
about,
can't
how about
wait.
ladies first?
Yeah, we're
By all
all
means.
speaking at
I
once.
was about to say
Yeah.
it's been over a little over a year now since we did 3.5, and that we are getting actually close. And I mean it. We're getting very close to having all our ducks in a row and making sure that this next season is everything we want it to be. I'm intensely excited. I want to see everybody have a great time with this, and I'm hoping that all of the hard work and effort that we've been putting in this past year will pay off.
And I just want to let folks at home know that talking over each other and everything, accurate picture of development. So many creative voices, so many great ideas just
Yeah.
coming all together all at once. It's magic and chaos in the best of ways.
Yeah.
Now,
No, it's really great. I mean, I'm myself and many others on the dev team are working like for many hours every single day on all of the implementation of things, and I'm working with character team for additionally many more hours to really like nail down the system and make sure that it's as good as it can possibly be in a good and digestible format, because it's no one wants to sit there reading a massive just like headache of a system. It's got to be concise and clear, and it's not an easy task making a system for a role play that's this big and that can hopefully last us for as many seasons as Neon Divide will take us.
Yeah, and I can safely say from my end, when it comes to looking into the staff team, they have been doing a unbelievable amount of work. I've been trying my best to more manage my wing together with OSL when it comes to the media team, and I can safely say, just taking a peek into other places, specifically Dev and everybody, on one hand, I am happy that I've chosen the media wing, but on the other hand, I'm also very excited just to see what everybody has made so far. I personally would say people should be very excited for the next season. That's at least my personal opinion about it.
as a member of media team myself, I can tell you folks back at home, we got some stuff cooking that you are not ready for just yet. Look forward to it. And now,
Mm.
our disembodied voice, before we get to the actual questions, how are you feeling about the new season?
I gotta say, I didn't think I would ever get back into map development, and I'm so glad that I did. Being able to work on Union Heights and the new stuff that's coming up has been a treat, and working directly with Snow and Deadly and Chair and everybody else who's making a huge impact on that is super cool. And I want to show everything right now, but unfortunately we gotta wait a little bit longer. I think we might do a little bit of a sneak peek during New Year's, and yeah, we've been tackling so much tech debt from all the past seasons that it's super critical that when we land season 4, you guys are all hopping back in and giving it a shot and telling us if we did it right.
All right, and with that, I hear that we have our first question ready for the crew. Feed it to me. Our first question from the crew is, will Melee be considered a combat skill tree in the future?
It's a good
So
question.
when it comes to that, I can safely say that combat overall as a entire skill tree when it comes to that has been also been under our looks and has definitely been reworked in that entire thing. But I do have to say, since we're currently still trying to show off the skill trees as best as we can, it's going to be a thing that will be revealed when the skill tree goes up. If you're remember, if you are subscribed on the Patreon, you will get to see those. But also, if you're part of the ND cast, you will get these updates for absolutely free. Again, we want that the players, the SCPs, we want all of you guys to be excited and see what we work on. So do take your time with that. Again, it's being reworked, but we get there. Oh yeah, and also since I'm just seeing it in chat right now, sorry, that's just me taking it. It's also the understanding of what skill tree, when it comes to on the Patreon, is going to be revealed next. That's actually something that people can vote on, as a matter of fact. And from the last vote that we received after the Arcana post, the next skill tree that we're going to reveal is decking. So be excited for that.
I believe it's going
Ooh.
live on the Patreon pretty soon, right?
Pretty much, I'm trying again as the person who takes care of that. I'm trying my best to bring this out as soon as the podcast ends.
Love it. Yeah.
Sounds like a very fun time. All right, here's our next question coming in from the crew. How many of the skill trees have we gotten set up in the new system so far?
I mean,
Oh man, I'll have
that's
to
the amount is more of a
yeah.
chair question. That's fun.
I'll have to count real quick.
No, you're fine. Like I said,
I think it's like well, we have the list on the Patreon, right? For people to vote for.
exactly. All these skills in itself that we have on the Patreon for selecting of what do you guys want to see first, or see in this case. Now that decking is going live, what's going to come in third? So that option itself is there, and I think it should be, unless I'm completely mistaken, at least from the amount, should be 7 skill trees. I'm pretty sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7. Yep.
There you go.
You'd think I
7
would know
skill
that,
trees.
being looking at it like every day.
You also need to understand we are currently in a live setting, so sometimes that stuff just slips our minds.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
God heavens, I've been there.
Oh, yeah. All right, they're feeding me the next question. Along with Season 4, what's the current development of the Virtual Nexus initiative?
Yeah. Or Oblivious or Bucky?
Yeah,
You guys want to chat
I'll
about
pop
that?
into it. So we are setting up the tools that we're going to need to make that a real deal. We just got our Google nonprofit set up, which is great. It's going to give us access to a lot of services that will help us be organized and keep things going forward. Unfortunately, one of the things that is going to keep that a little bit on hold is we have to develop a financial history, because everybody who's going to potentially give us grants might want to know that we're, able to manage our money effectively, which we have been. And as that record gets built up, we'll start to be able to apply for grants and scale the project considerably. We've got a lot of working documents that admin is filling out to try to make sure that we're prepped and ready to launch on all those things as soon as we've got at least a year of history.
All right. They're feeding me the next question. With a slight bias, how to skill trees. I see. This is what they're trying to say. How do skill trees affect decking? I think that's something that's going to come up when you show off decking, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Today, hopefully, you'll yeah. If you're
Again,
on the Patreon, hopefully you'll find out today.
again, it's the understanding if you are subscribed to the Patreon, you will get that information as soon as it drops. If not, you're going to have to wait some time until the next drop happens. Until then, I mean, all I can say is just give it a bit of time. And of course, again, if you're part of the cast, no matter if you're player, SCP, staff obviously gets it. You will get that information as soon as it goes live as well for free.
All right, and the next question is an interesting one just because I've heard a lot about this one. Is there a psionics skill tree, or is it getting folded into something else?
Who wants to take that one?
Dibs out.
Yeah. Psionics
No
are
scope.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so psionics it's something that we're trying to move away from in season 4. They're it's I mean, when you think of mind control magic in a role play where it's majority of the people that you interact with and talk to are other players, it starts to take away some of the agency of those players and ends up just getting to be a tough gray area to try to figure out and solve. We put all of our collective minds together to figure out, is there a way that we can do this? And we're fortunately, there's only a handful of characters in the role play that had access to psionic magic, but it's something that we're going to be moving away from. And for those characters, if you guys are watching, that'll be covered in our individual reach outs to you during the audit that is happening now within staff.
Very good, very good. So, here's a little bit into the more nitty gritty that they're telling me here. Is there a limit to how many skills you can train in each tree? As in, how spread out can you be within the Arcana tree, for example?
It's free game. Yeah, you can spread it out as you want. You can have 1 point in each thing. I mean, your limit is the number of skill points that you have, but it's you can be a jack of all trades, master of none.
Very good, very good. I'm going to skip over that next one that was posted because I feel like that one's a good one to end off the Q&A on, give everybody time to answer it. On a scale of percent, how much of the new map would you say is done? Air quotes.
Like a good 85%, I'd say.
I think so too.
Yeah, around 85-90%. We're getting pretty close. It's beginning to actually look like a fully featured map, which only maybe 2 months ago when we were initially starting on exterior decoration and like filling out the map spaces. Like it didn't quite look like it was a map yet, but now that we've kind of got a lot of those exterior spaces and interior spaces filled out, the map is genuinely beginning to look a lot more like our existing maps and reaching that kind of level of polish that we really want to see.
I would
Very
say I
cool.
got a
Yeah,
chance to look at the lighting. And the lighting is just like chef's kiss.
Somebody posted a picture just today, and I was blown away by how colorful everything is. Like as far as like our other maps, this is probably going to be the most colorful one that we have.
Yeah. It really feels great. I mean, I think like there's a couple of map set pieces that we're still not in early stages on, but in a whole, like, yeah, the map is we're getting there, and it feels really, really nice walking around it in the test builds that I'm been pushing and testing out, because it's it just feels great for it to finally feel like a real map that that people could role play on.
From what I've seen, it's definitely also what I really enjoy is the aspect of how the higher you go into more of that social hierarchy, when the entire aspect of how Union Heights is, and then compared to something like the Wasteland is, you can have that visible shift of like how much more futuristic, but also how do I explain this? Just more intense it gets when it comes to just the pictures and everything that will be perceived on the map. So it's definitely, from what I've seen, something I'm going to be very excited on, even if I'm not going to be a player but a GM. It's going to be good. That's definitely can say it's going to be good.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. In relation to that question, man, the viewers, they just want to know more and more and more. They're asking any new map tech that you guys are excited that you can share at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, there's
There's
the
a
the
decent
occlusion.
amount. Yeah, the manual occlusion stuff that Snow has been working on that has now been spread out to all of the maps, which also, to loop back to something earlier, should be in the holiday special maps. When we go to do that, um, has improved performance quite significantly. We have been hard at work, especially with the Wasteland. Um, Historically, that has been the worst performing map out of all of them, but our hope is that that should no longer be the case.
Can we talk about the cars?
Oh,
We can
true.
talk about the cars, yeah.
The cars. Yeah. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so the particles that were in the row and the old, we ported some of them over to Union Heights, but the sheer performance and FPS increase we were able to get by Snow entirely rewriting the particle system and making that work better. It's insane just how much that was tanking people's performance. And we have better Neum. The audio on it is actually spatialized. It's not going to be a random, over all other sounds Neum in the middle
It just
of it.
happened.
Yeah, he's able to basically draw a spline from one point to another and have the cars sort of track between those two areas. So they're not particles anymore, and each one of them is able to have hookups to the audio system. So that way, as they pass by, you can hear the audio of it. And it feels really, really, really nice. Having been to the test world, like as a bunch of them are all passing by, you kind of do get a sense of scale and speed as these things are flying by.
Live, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, just little
yeah.
polished things like that. As far as like other tech goes, like, I'm trying to think of like
We'll
what
say
I
Diddley's
can what I
water
can say.
shader is a
Deadly has been
blast to
working
look at.
at a
Very
water
nice.
shader specially
Yep,
for the
big
new
fan of
map
it.
that
Yep.
makes the beach that you guys have seen some sneak peeks of look really, really, really nice. We're hoping that that becomes a bit of a centerpiece and a social hub in the map. Aside from that, Snow has also been doing some passes for a location. I don't know. Can I tell them about the bar in Union Heights? Should I tell them
Mm,
about that yet?
yeah,
Should I
probably
hold
not.
off?
Ooh, that's,
Probably
that's,
not.
that's always a
Yeah.
little bit. I
We'll
feel
hold
like
off
you
on that one.
like
Yeah.
for now.
We'll keep that one to
we gotta keep
ourselves
that.
for now.
I think you've
Guns?
already
A
said
little bit.
enough of that.
Yeah, we can talk about some of the upgrades to the guns. They've been made a bit more reliable. Deadly has been making some upgrades to also make them more how to put it. I guess a little more fair at the end of the day is what we were going for. Um, Instead of just being able to run and gun with absolute accuracy, as you run and are firing, you will slow down. And we'll be testing this a bit during the upcoming holiday special. But as you fire the weapon, you will slow down and your accuracy will decrease if you're running. But if you stop and plant and take aim, you'll have a significantly better accuracy.
No more 45-degree angle
Excuse me.
shots to the right.
Yes.
All right. And a little bit on some of the skill trees that people were asking about earlier. Luck build when?
Oh man. Well, actually, there is. Well, I wouldn't say luck. There's a luck build, but there is a new. Well, it got taken out of the skill trees, but we haven't like talked about implementing it yet. So I don't want to I don't want to jump the gun, but um,
You're
yeah,
hearing
yeah.
cut
Well,
When it
content
comes
here,
to
folks.
again,
yeah.
the skill trees specifically are going to be something that you can all be excited for. It's going to take you time, but you'll get all the information. And specifically, want to make sure the cast absolutely gets that information all out for the sake of it. So don't worry. Skill trees are going to be something we're going to be respectfully putting still a little bit behind bars for the time being, but you're going to get it.
All right, all right. Now, looking here, our next one actually comes from a staff member. I'll
Is
be
that
that
so?
guy. Which skill tree are you most excited to present and show off?
Influence. I can't wait.
Influence. Influence is going to
Making
be
it
something
actually
great.
useful?
So
Oh,
what
yeah.
used to be Sycophanta is now called Influence, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
As somebody who's seen it, I've had ideas for characters, but as soon as I saw influence, I was like, okay, maybe I should reconsider. Maybe I should maybe dip my toes in that one. But what about you, Oblivious? I have one thing in mind, but when it comes to you and looking at the skill trees, what so far you've been most excited about?
I feel like I'm obligated to say decking, but having seen some of the other ones, I would also have to agree that taking a peek at what was previously Sycophanta, rather than it just feeling like, oh, I'm someone influential, I can just ask people to do things for me. I know specifically for me, I found espionage as a really, really interesting kind of deviation from what you would initially expect from someone who is this influential networker. No, you're somebody who digs in deep underneath the corporations and tries to collect valuable resources and data from under their
Mhm.
noses. So
The
I'm
entire idea of
quite
more.
excited about that one.
For me
That
personally,
actually
it's
brings
Oh, no, you first, Bucky.
No,
by all
go
means.
ahead. Okay.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say
You're
that.
you're the disembodied voice. You have dibs. It's all good.
Yes. So that actually brings up a really good point about kind of the restructure and the purpose of Union Heights, right? It's like you can work for a corp but subvert it now. You don't have to be so loyal and such a good lapdog for the corporations. You can be in there and you can be causing problems for them under the guise of your everyday worker.
Oh, that
Might not end well
sounds
for you eventually,
wonderful.
but you know.
Yeah, but you got to play your cards right at the end of the day.
As a loyal
me-
Get Boy, that sounds interesting.
For me personally, though, it's when it comes to the skill trees is on one hand, yes, we do have the skill trees, but to kind of give a little bit of a wink to the camera, I think you guys should be more excited to what comes after the skill trees, because I feel like that's going to be the crucial part, which will make or break your decision for what kind of path you want to take as a character. So wait up for that. Wait for the skill trees to all drop, and after that, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy what's next.
Hey, I'm here. Hello. Hi.
And it looks like we just
Oh,
got crashed
oh,
in by a jar of greed. It is the only Knick-Knack.
Hi, folks. Sorry. Also, disembodied voice. I jumped
Hold
in.
on.
We're practically
There we
at
go.
our-
Let's get the.
Give him another one.
Yeah, I'm
face
getting
in
another
there.
one here.
I demand a face. Thank you.
I suggest GebCube, but I'm overruled.
There we
We'll
go.
wait and see.
You want to
Okay,
put him over there on
we'll
that?
give it, we'll give
Put
him
him
a
next to Bear.
Yeah,
Louis.
put him on
Right,
that side.
Put it there. Exactly.
video.
Pass
You
him
waddle
over
up
here.
next to
Knack,
Bear.
Here.
we share Discord calls often enough. We don't need to share a body.
All right, you can join me over here, Oblivious, if you want to have a seat.
Sure, here.
And while
Just put
that's
me in
all
Cheers Life,
getting,
it'll be okay.
yep. While that's getting all set up, I'll move us on to the next question, which is a question for me. What in the hell? That's not in the script. Footstep tech?
That was me. Hi.
Oh
hello.
yes.
I'm
Suppose we can
not
talk
quite
about that,
sure
yeah.
what that means.
We have
Are
footsteps.
we dropping steppers?
You guys know.
So
It's out.
Yeah.
The secret's out.
The secret's out.
should I talk about it, or should we keep some of it secret? Oh,
I mean, there's
Let's
not
give
really too much
something.
to it. It's just
breaking up a little bit.
there's-
I mean, it's not too terribly crazy of a system, but I think in terms of its implications as a whole for the roleplay, so basically, the footstep tech allows you to kind of have more of a presence in the map. No longer, as you're walking around, will people just silently sort of sidle up to you. You can hear them coming, from wherever they're at. And this system is affected directly by the environment system that Snow and Deadly have been working on. It will allow you to kind of play a little more into sneaking around as well, from what we have been testing. If you are trying to sneak into a location, you do have to think a little more. It's not just, oh yeah, I can sprint through the place. I have to slowly kind of move my way through the building. Taking care not to make too much noise, otherwise you might attract attention that you might not want.
Interesting.
We do love a little bit of Metal Gear, don't we?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I do want to mind it, and the only reason I brought it up is because it's fun to talk about that stuff. But just a
No,
reminder,
it's awesome.
it is purely experimental at the moment. We're not sure how far we're gonna go with it, but it's fun and it's cool, and I like footstep tech because stealth actually mattering for your movement and
Yeah.
being able to sneak up on people is really really cool, and not a thing a lot of folks have considered for RP and stealth in general when looking at other projects and stuff. And I think it's just super exciting to bring up in general, even if we don't consider it as something for consideration in the future for ourselves or other projects. So sorry, just got excited about it.
Yes.
No,
it's
It's,
awesome.
you're
it's
good.
yet
You're-
another thing that I believe, unless I'm mistaken, should also be one of the systems that will be enabled for the holiday special. So you'll get a chance to test it out, see how it feels, and let us know exactly what you think of it.
I was just
Yeah,
very
yeah, it's-
confused by that question because I've been tapping my foot this entire show, and I'm like, people notice that?
No, yeah. No, this
Yeah.
map, it's not obviously not in the public maps, but yeah, I've had to make so many footstep sounds. You guys have no idea because I have to make variations for every single sound, like walking on wood versus tile versus sand, water, metal, everything. So it's been a lot of defining every single zone that is wood or metal or everything else. So I'm very, very excited for it to it's a rollout. No, it's to test it out and see what we can do to make it better.
Rug
Again,
Sounds
versus
really good.
granite
Suggestions.
versus
exactly.
everything.
And it's also, I feel like, again, should kind of point the finger towards the camera and say again to all the players that are going to be helping with that little bit of a holiday special, we're going to try to set something up. But again, for us, feedback is important. Again, without if we know that there's something on the map and suddenly nobody tells us about it, and we just suddenly bring it out, and then we notice it as soon as the launch happens, like, that would have been funny if someone told us about that. So we gonna, as much as we are trying to bring this out and trying to provide, please assist us in the matter of feedback. We will gladly be there to listen to every single one of you.
And speaking of feedback, one here in the chat, adding to the footstep tech, how would it affect people who don't walk on the ground, such as those who are hovering, some who are flying, so on and so forth?
So, you just won't make a sound. So long as you're not making contact with the ground, if you're moving around, you shouldn't make any sounds. It's pretty simple in that sense.
Okay, all
And
right.
with that, to follow up, if you land, like let's say you jump off of something, there will be a little bit more of an oomph. Like it's not going to be completely silent or a regular footstep.
Mm.
Yep. There will be a system of tags as well for characters. Like, say, we've had characters in the past who've been bound to like hover chairs or are synthetics who hover around all over the place. We'll have tags that you can have added to your character sheet that will disable those sounds. Because obviously, if you're floating around, why would you make those sort of sounds? Why would
Which is
people
really
hear
helpful for
footsteps?
GMs. Yeah, very helpful for
Yeah.
GM avatars as well, because being invisible and flying around and trying to spectate scenes and help narrate, gets a little
Middle
terrifying
of
when you just hear a little
middle of the
shuffle behind
road,
you.
middle of the
Yeah.
road, two people having a conversation. The DM just
Yep.
behind them, just like this. No, that's gonna take people out.
Yeah.
Naruto running sounds, and oh, that's a good question though. I see it in the chat as another additional follow-up. What about synths on wheels? Can we get drifting noises? Very fun.
Oh God.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
That one might be a little more difficult. I don't think we've quite set up anything for that
Yeah, that'd be
specifically,
sick.
but
But yeah.
Just make it go.
that is a
speak-
good
Let
point.
TBD.
We'll have to think on that one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put it on the docket, but it's for right now. The footsteps is more the focus on, but if we got some wheels in the future, then I mean, if it happens, it happens.
For
can't
the time
wait.
being, our hope is to get the initial implementation and make sure that all of the networking and tagging and the environmental stuff is all working correctly.
I'm just imagining Def Lifto coming through the row, and then you just hear a footstep just running its way at you. The wheels making
Basically,
contact.
it's like Fred Flintstone, just like trying to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Lots of good information that we're getting out of here. Here's one that's actually a question that I am really interested in knowing. How is emergent storytelling handled? Are the characters handling story or character progression, or are they just given missions to do?
That is a pretty good one. And if you don't mind, I'll take it, folks.
Oh,
So emergent storytelling is such an interesting term to use, right? Because when looking at storytelling in VRRP specifically, you run into a lot of scenarios where player characters and characters in their own sense will take things in their own direction. They'll send you off, off your path as a GM, and you just have to compensate. And as a lot of GMs learned, is to improvise on the fly. So especially for the GMs of ND, one of our first things is to strongly encourage that characters communicate with us for their stories that they'd like to do, as well as introduce some of our own sort of overall map scale or player scale storylines for them to pursue and engage with in their own capacity, rather than sort of forcing them on a railroad or anything of that sort. As for missions, we do have a system that compensates for that as well. That's what the runners do, right? A lot of that is sort of how do I put it, sort of optional mission material to opt into, and a lot of things that folks like to really engage with, especially if they're runners. But not always. There's alternatives to mission format as well, right? There's a thing we're working on for Union Heights and crew in the corporate scale, sort of scope, called Crow. That'll be a fun thing to talk about eventually when we get to it. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but it's going to be fun.
To use a phrase I coined over on Nightcap a while ago, players are going to player.
Yeah, players are indeed going to player. But yeah, so it's a really good question. But ultimately, we want to sort of strike a balance between players telling their stories as much as the GMs telling stories alongside the players. The GMs are there to help players along as much as the players are there to help the GMs, tell a story with them. It's a cooperative experience, and if it's not cooperative, what's the point?
Combined storytelling.
Mm-hmm. And we've certainly got a lot of that ready and waiting. A lot of little things ready and waiting for players to stumble into, discover, play around with in both the old maps and the new ones.
Is there an old man out there saying dissolve the union? Who is that guy? Get him arrested.
All right. Now,
Wait, got the
is there any other questions that I am missing off the top of our heads here, or am I going to circle back to that one that I was saving for the end?
I did see one before we circle back to that, and that was if there was any updates to the corpse overall. And I don't know, Chair, if we want to talk about Shimetsu and the direction we'd like to go with that, or if we want to save it.
I think we should say that. It's
Okay.
there's a lot that goes into it, and well, it's not like a massive overhaul, but
Yeah, less of a massive
there-
overhaul and just sort of retouching what
A nudge.
corporation or RP should really be. It's the whole point of Union Heights and stuff, right? So, like, there's going to be a lot of changes overall with corporations, but not enough that you won't recognize them or anything. Just sort of, I think,
Yeah.
setting the scales back in place, as it were.
Secrets and mystery,
And I
folks.
guess one of the other things I guess you could mention on is the corps are specialized, and we're leaning a little bit more into that. Right? Like there will be a little bit less of two corps or more corps doing very similar things. You'll have a reason to go to every single one.
Yes, don't worry. We made sure Masaru and all the other corps are very well treated. They have very, very cool things coming, I assure you.
Dome.
the orb. Yeah, that's all I want to say. It's just the orb.
The orb.
Orb. All right, folks, then I'm going to circle back around to our last question. And I just wanted to save it because it's the kind of question that really deserves a little bit more time. I don't know if it's off topic, but what's the best part about being a part of ND, of working on it, of being part of the cast and crew?
All right, I'll say it. I'll be the cheesy one, the community. The stories, the people, everything about Indy. It's why I'm here. It's why I'm helping. It's why I think we're all here in one aspect or another. But without the people telling stories and without the community being here, I don't think I would still be a part of this project. I think it deserves everything that's gone into it, and I think it deserves to be a fantastic thing.
Very well said.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think Nick Knack just stole all of the good words for what we probably all feel, to be honest, because it really is you guys. It's the just camaraderie between you guys, and it's for me. It's when I got to just fully experience only being a player character in season 2 and getting to do so many just fun and cool things and exploration and meeting new characters and doing just awesome things. All I want to do is just give that same experience to everyone else. So I think that's why I'm here trying to do so much for the project. Is I think we probably all are, is we want to give back in a way and help give you guys that same experience that, at least for me, that I got, and hope that you guys can get even get something similar.
There's
Yeah, I
definitely
think
that
you
Same feeling. No, by all means, Bucky.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of delay. Yeah, I think you absolutely nailed it there. Like the community, the tech that we have, and the ability that you can kind of go from being a fan of the show and then into an SCP and then a character, and then during that whole time you get eventually inspired to work on the project. Like that was my entire pipeline, and I never expected to be here where I'm at now, and helping kind of evolve the project and grow it. And I think for me, the thing that really excites me and keeps me coming back to indie is just the potential that I see and the passion of everybody on the staff here and our entire community. Just like all of us want this to be the best project that we can make it, and everybody is doing their part to make it that.
Yeah, it's definitely something where when I first got into the fray of admin together with Oblivious at the time, it was definitely a I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a frightening experience seeing this big of a project and suddenly I'm in the chairs like, okay, what are we gonna do? But no, after everything kind of set itself in place, just the potential that this project actually has is something that I've always very much kept close to the heart. And for me personally, as a GM as well as a player, is the aspect of telling stories together with other people. Specifically, if anybody in the cast, or for example, if a player comes to me as a GM being like, I want to tell this type of story, I immediately sit there as like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Let's see if we can cook something up. That moment of sitting together with a player or as a GM, sitting together with my fellow other GMs, creating something from scratch and then making a story out of it is something that's so unique and so refreshing for me. And that's also what makes me keep coming back to ND, honestly.
Mhm.
Honestly, I'd also say the just and Neon Divide in of itself is a very unique role play. There are stories here that I know I am in the midst of telling and have told with other people that I don't think I have seen anywhere else. Um, just the scope of it all as well. 4 maps, usually somewhere around 120 people every night is insane. There's no other projects on this platform that are like it, and being a part of that and getting to contribute to that story and be a part of that world is special, At least to me.
Mhm. And I'll speak up as the one of the newer staff members here. Actually, uh, as I said earlier, the controlled chaos is really what brought me in. The maelstrom of brilliant ideas coming together and just crashing together, and us picking up all of the messed up bits of whatever ideas we had and putting them together into something so monumentally just flabbergastingly amazing as all of you have. I I sing the praises of the media team even though you viewers don't know what's coming yet, and I can assure you not a single one of you is prepared for it.
So true. Oh man. But no, and then there's of course the real thing, the free Gepsi. I mean, you get free Gepsi with your staff membership, so
Yeah,
Or Gap.
The
It's really
Gepsi,
great.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Absolute cinema.
yeah.
That's the main reason, honestly. Everything we just said completely overshadowed by the Gepsi.
the Gepsi.
I do. I want to add a little bit of a sentiment here, and I think it's something that we all share, and a reason that we're all so involved with staff, and that's because we want to see this project exist even beyond us, right? We want to create a solid foundation for this project moving forward, and allow however many people we can to have a chance to role play in something of this scale. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the work that the admin team has been putting in here for the past over a year now has all been in the hopes of future proofing this role play and making certain that um, it has a place here on VRChat for many years to come. Um, as well as just continuing to expand what we can do with other role plays, making certain that, other role plays have all of the tools, knowledge, and just everything they need to be successful, because this platform has something truly unique. And spreading the love and spreading the just everything that we've managed to put together here is a massive goal for this project and for this administration team.
No, exactly. What's the saying? I'm not familiar with it. It's like, rising tide helps all ships or something. Like that's basically
Lifts
kind
all
of how
boats.
I've been
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's kind of how I've been feeling very much about this as well.
There are stories that we can tell here in VR and with Neon Divide that you will never be able to see in any other medium, not in any video game, not in any tabletop, not in any movie or book. And a lot of it is driven by the fact that you would just have so many different people and all the systems and everything coming together to just be able to put on a completely unique show that you'll never be able to see again, because you'll never have that same perfect storm of people, but you'll have the perfect storm of whatever you want to put on.
Mm. And I think all these sentiments sum up to we're all just excited for Andy, and that's why we're working on it.
Yeah. We're all huge
Ultimately.
nerds.
We're all
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
fucking
Just
nerds.
massive.
Yeah.
Just massive.
Feel
You
discharged.
know,
Kind of
I
there.
see the 4 seasons of the movie. Let me worry about getting to season 5 before I even consider anything like that. Please, God. Uh, it's like season 4 is just the first step. Season 5, the real banger. I'm telling you.
All right,
Uh,
folks. I
So
think
we
that
give a
go
thank
right
you to our
ahead.
patrons.
oh yeah.
Go ahead and hit it.
Yeah.
Let's switch on
Speedrun.
over to that. Thank you to the patrons. All right, here I'll do a first section, and then we can have someone rotate. Thank you to Gimmick. Thank you to Schmoodle. Thank you to Deadly Donor. Thank you to Friendly Explosion. Thank you to Nullmatic. Thank you to Blankety Blank. Thank you to 0101. Thank you, Hari. Thank you, Chandler Riggs.
Hey, that's
Thank you,
me.
dogs. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Chrome Cat. Oh no, I'll let someone else know. I got excited. All right, go ahead.
Thank you,
Someone else. Go ahead.
Chrome Captor, Meg R, Caseface, Taz, Nevmus. I think that's a D. Hold on, my dyslexia. Let me put my
It's a D.
glasses on here.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
D3ND, Michael T, Xpolar, CJO0007, Rezi Senpai, and Jade C.
Like Donner?
Thank you
Gotta
guys.
have
My
more than that.
apologies. Let's see. We should. Oh no, is that it for the moment? All right.
That's
That's
it.
everything.
Well, if you'd like
Love
to
it.
hear your name called out in our thank yous and for further support, we'll be putting those names into the new maps eventually, once that all gets figured out. So if you'd like to support us, HB, you want to plug it?
Wait, what am I plugging? What's going on?
The
Patreon.
The Patreon.
Oh, the Patreon. Oh yeah, that cool thing that everybody should totally subscribe to. Yeah, no, Patreon.
Please help. We're broke.
Please follow us. Don't gotta say it like that. Support us, please, on Patreon, patreon.com/neondivide. Every single one that subscribe there and give us even a tiny bit of a donation can help us really support the project and really bring us even further. So thank you to everybody who has already subscribed and to everybody who is going to subscribe. Thank you so much from the entire admin team and the entire staff team. It really means a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Now-
piggyback on that as well and say that we would not have been able to set up season 4 without the generous donations to the project and being able to set up the tooling and the assets for what we're building. It all comes back to you guys at the end of the day.
All right.
Absolutely. And once again, if you want an incentive to subscribe to the Patreon, don't forget, later today, decking post goes up, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be excited for that one as well.
I'm excited, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if you'd like to help support us in other ways, there's always we have a lot of open staff positions that we always need help with. You can find those in the Discord in the channels that promote that. So,
All right. Do we have
join the
any?
Yeah.
Discord at, what is it? Discord.gg/something, I'm sure. But you can find it on our website at neondivide.com.
Yeah, it's Neon Divide, I think. /.
Pretty
Send the
straightforward.
website. We got all the links on the website. It's all
Don't worry,
there.
it's all there. You'll
neondivide.com.
find it. Neondivide.com.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
find it there.
All right. Do we have any final announcements, or are we just going to go down the list, say who you are, plug your stuff, and get out of here?
I think that's about it.
I think that's
Wanna-
it.
Plugs, got nothing. I like being here. I don't know what else, but what about you guys?
I'm Knickknack and I don't exist. So,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
Bucky
now,
and Knick-Knack check my body.
Disembodied
Yeah,
voices.
target dummy, according to the prop system. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm Chandler, chair handler. Yeah, that's nothing for you guys. Just thanks for being here, for being who you are, and yeah, can't wait to start season.
I'm Oblivious. Not much else to say. I can't wait to see you guys in season 4.
You can find Oblivious over at her channel and her Discord. She does fantastic VRRP streaming. I'm sure a lot of you
Wait a
here
minute.
already know that, though.
Wait a
She's
minute.
fantastic.
What the fuck? Why would you out me like this?
You nerd.
And-
now the entire public knows.
And my name is Unedited Bear. I've been your host for tonight. If you want to see me do more interviews with people such as Oblivious and other members of the cast, go check out Nightcap at Nightcap VR over on Blue Sky. It's run by me and my best bud Coyote. You might know him.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
just interview a
Is it-
bunch
is
of
it
VR
free?
people. He is free for now.
Every day we get
I
closer.
might have to come
Anyway,
break into your guys' ship again sometime.
I'd
You
love to
might.
break in sometime.
Now, also, I gotta run before the corpse actually find out I'm here. Bye!
They're already waiting outside for you.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one. We'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Goodbye,
Treat yourself
everybody.
today.
Doesn't
You deserve it.
He doesn't know that Crow's waiting outside for him.